Just a reminder to vote in this week's Locals poll, where you decide what deck I take to Locals every single week. Without any further ado, I hope you enjoyed the video. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, and for today we have the deck the profile for the deck we took to Locals last night, being Armed Dragons. So we actually did better than I thought. We ended up getting 4th place, which was actually really good, I think, considering just how this deck works. So yeah, we're gonna do a quick cut to what the deck looks like on paper, and then we'll get to the card by card. Okay, so first we're gonna do kind of the main level lineup and then some of the more auxiliary monsters. So first in the lineup is, of course, Armed Dragon Thunder level 10. So you want to special summon this guy from the deck from your other Armed Dragon monsters, and basically he gets different effects based on his attack value. Just as soon as it hits the field, it can't be destroyed by battle. Its name's tree is Armed Dragon level 10, and your opponent can't steal it. And then also during your opponent's turn, as a quick effect, you can send a card from your hand to the grave to target and pop a card on the field. And upon that card's destruction, he gains 1,000 attack. Then if you get him all the way up to 10,000, he can nuke every single card on the field. This is, of course, a reference to Chaz's Japanese catchphrase. So I think that's enough about that. He's, of course, the main boss monster. This is what you're going to be working towards turn 1, because you do want to try to go first with this deck to set it up. Next is 3 copies of Armed Dragon Thunder level 7. So this is one of the best ones to have to send to the graveyard in order to activate your effects, because each of these lower leveled Armed Dragon Thunders, they have an effect where if they're sent to the graveyard in order to activate another dragon monster's effect, you can add something. So like in this case, you can add any Armed Dragon card. 5, which we're also running 3 copies of, allows you to search any level 5 or higher wind dragon monster. So that will a lot of times allow you to search for 7. And then the best part about those is that it sends from your hand to the graveyard for cost. It says you can send one monster from your hand to the graveyard, semicolon. So it sends for cost, which is really nice. So even if they have an Ash, you still get that extra effect. So yeah, 7 allows you to search any Armed Dragon card when it's sent. And then 5 lets you search any level 5 or higher wind dragon monster. Then, of course, rounding up the main lineup, we have Armed Dragon Thunder level 3. Of course, running 3 copies of this. And if it gets sent to the graveyard to activate another dragon monster's effect, you get to draw a card. And then, of course, the whole progression is, you go 3 into 5, 5 into 7, and then, of course, 7 into 10. That is, of course, the progression. And the best part about that is this dodges Nibiru. That's only 4 summons. So I thought that was really cool, how I could just not even have to worry about Nibiru at all. So that was kind of nice. But yeah, they all have those effects, and it's sent from the hand to the graveyard for their effects. So unfortunately, if you are under Dimensional Shifter, then that is a problem, because you won't be able to activate. But anyways, moving on to some of your more auxiliary monsters. I am also running 2 copies of Armed Dragon level 10 white. So this is kind of like a backup plan. And basically you banish 10 levels worth of Armed Dragons from either your field and or graveyard. Special summon them, then you can add White Veil from your deck to your hand. We'll get to that later. When this guy attacks, at the start of the damage step, you can destroy a card on the field that doesn't target. It just destroys, which is really good for getting rid of problematic things that can't be targeted. Then while he's on the field, you take no effect damage. That doesn't really come up all that much, but it can. We'll talk about that more when we get to White Veil later. Next, and one of your alternate search targets for Armed Dragon Thunder level 5 is Pile Armed Dragon. So you can send another Wind Dragon monster from hand to the grave to summon him, so that will trigger those extra search effects. And then you can send one from your deck to the grave as cost to target a monster on your side of the field, and it gains attack equal to the sent monster's attack attack equal to the sent monster's level times 300 till the end of the turn. Only drawback is you can only attack with one monster that turn, but sometimes that can help you get Thunder level 10 up past a certain threshold, so that can help you there. And then, of course, the dumping effect also triggers the Armed Dragon Thunders. So I really like to send level 7 with this, so that way I can get a search of any Armed Dragon card, so that's really nice. Next, I am running 2 Armed Dragon, the Armored Dragon. This one is mainly for what we're going to talk about next, although it does have an effect where when it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can special summon a level 5 or lower Wind Dragon monster from your hand or deck. So you can summon your Armed Dragon Thunder level 5, and then start going through your combo in main 2 if you need to. But the main reason I run this is because it's a level 4. For the Ritual package that we're running, which is 2 copies of Knight of Armor Dragon, 2 Armor Dragon Ritual, and then 2 pre-prep in order to search them out. So, basically, as I already said, pre-prep just searches both of these out. Armor Dragon Ritual is basically a normal ritual spell, and then the next turn, if you need to, you can banish it in order to revive the ritual, if you need to. The ritual monster, so basically, it does have an effect similar to El Shaddai Construct, where if it battles a monster from the extra deck, it just sends it back. It just bounces it. But the main reason you run this is the second effect, which is you can tribute this card. And again, tributing is cost, so it dodges things like Imperm and Veiler. Special summon a level 5 or higher Wind Dragon monster from hand or deck. So basically, you can just ritual summon this, go straight into 7, and then 7 into 10. So that's really nice. Just being able to go straight into it there. Next, we're going to move on to the spells now, since we already kind of covered the rituals. So this is going to be the Armed Dragon spells. So first, running 3 copies of Armed Dragon Flash. This is basically quick launch for the archetype. It allows you to special summon Armed Dragon Thunder level 3 from your deck in defense position. Only drawback is it is a hard once per turn, but it's a quick play, so you can do it on the opponent's turn as well. Next, 2 copies of Armed Dragon Lightning. So I'm running 2 of this because this is one of the things I like to search with level 7. But then also you can actually get it back from the graveyard with the trap card. So I feel like running 3 is just kind of unnecessary. But yeah, this is actually a really good card. So you can target one of your Armed Dragons and get one from your graveyard with an equal or lower level. So that can help you continue your combo, even if you run out of cards in your hand. Or you can just bump up its attack. So if you target level 10, it gains 1,000 attack. And then you can send this card to the graveyard to prevent your monster from being destroyed by card effect. And then next, we mentioned this earlier, 1 copy of White Veil. This is searched out through level 10. It basically turns off your opponent's spells and traps whenever it attacks, whenever the equipped monster attacks. And then if it destroys a monster by battle, you get to blow up all of your opponent's back row. Only drawback is that when this card leaves the field, you take 3,000 damage. However, that's why Armed Dragon level 10 White has the continuous effect of you take no effect damage. Next, moving on to some of the more generic spells now. I'm running 2 copies of Dragon Shrine and then 2 copies of Return of the Dragon Lords. So, Dragon Shrine, it's basically Foolish Burial. Return of the Dragon Lords, you can only target a level 7 or 8 with this, but you can dump a 7 with Dragon Shrine, and then immediately summon it with Return of the Dragon Lords and go straight into 10. So it doesn't even matter. Or, if you don't even need to do that, if you just have the means to go into level 10 through the regular progression, or say through the ritual package, then you can just discard this, or excuse me, send this card from your hand to the graveyard, because there is a difference, in order to activate level 10's effect, so then you get another layer of protection. Alright, and then additionally, 2 copies of Pot of Avarice. This deck focuses on sending monsters to the graveyard very quickly in order to level up. So having this as some recursion is just really nice. And then finally, rounding out the spell cards, 1 Reasoning and 1 Monster Reborn, because they're all sorts of different levels, so Reasoning is really nice. I think every time actually no, it only whiffed 1 time. The guy called 5, and I hit Armed Dragon Thunder level 5, so, but that was the only time it whiffed throughout the whole night, so that wasn't bad. Then Monster Reborn for obvious reasons. And then finally, rounding out the deck is 2 copies of Armed Dragon Thunderbolt. So basically, you target an Armed Dragon that you control, and it gains 1,000 attack for every other Armed Dragon monster in your graveyard that has an equal or lower level and different names. So, like, let's just say we go, 3 into 5, into 7, and then into 10, right? And then you set this and pass. If you activate this, with just the 3, 5, and 7, that's an extra 3,000 attack on your level 10, bumping it up to at least 6,000, assuming you didn't use its other effect to pump it up even more. Only drawback is that your opponent won't take any battle damage for the rest of the turn. However, since the goal is to just get level 10 as high as you possibly can, it's sort of a drawback, but also it kind of doesn't matter most of the time. And then you can banish it from your graveyard to add an Armed Dragon spell from your graveyard to your hand. So, I actually mentioned this earlier. I usually use that effect to add back the Armed Dragon Lightning, although you can also use it on Armed Dragon Flash as well. So, yeah, that's going to be it for the deck profile. I hope you enjoyed. This is just a fun, casual little deck. I have a relatively small locals, so if you took this to a big locals, especially one that's a little more competitive, you probably wouldn't do as well as I did at my locals, because this is a small, more casual-oriented locals. But this is definitely a fun little deck. It's just really fun. I just enjoy using it, and the artworks are just immaculate, so that's another plus too. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Like, share, subscribe, vote in the locals poll, all that good stuff. Last I looked, we actually had a tie in the poll between Lunalight and the ABC XYZ Union deck, so that's fun. But yeah, like, subscribe, vote in the poll, and I will see you guys next time.